Paul Maynard.
Deputy Speaker, I would like to start by welcoming these proposals, but perhaps add a lament that they do not quite go far enough, because I am one of that die-hard band of Conservatives who actually believes in a 100% elected upper chamber, because I joined this party not because it was a Conservative party, but because I wanted to be a member of a party of change, of changing Britain for the better, not for keeping what was wrong as it was now. But I have listened carefully to the debate today, and there are some clear themes that have emerged, and I do find some common ground with the member for Epping Forest and the member for North East Somerset. I would like to draw members' attention perhaps to two important 18th century individuals, Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, who wrote the Federalist Papers. 85 editions of pure intellectual dynamite that played an important role in the formation of the American Constitution. They had great insight into human nature, how to balance competing interests, how to ensure that a constitution worked as a whole. And if we make one mistake today, that mistake is to try to consider reform of the House of Lords in isolation from wider constitutional change. 10 years ago, I would have had no truck with the idea of a written constitution, anathema to me. But such was the tinkering of the party opposite over the past 13 years, a bit here, a bit there, and a bit here. I am afraid we're left with no choice but to go back to the drawing board, to the famous blank sheet of paper that the leader of the Labour Party constantly brandishes at us, to actually start to redraw our constitution. The other key concern that I have heard today is the importance of maintaining the parity of this particular House with regard to the other House. I entirely accept that. There must be no question that we become a subsidiary chamber. However, my fear is that the proposals of the government today risk doing that very thing. My fear with having STV as a mechanism for electing members of the Senate or this upper house is that it will create that very debate over legitimacy and who has the greater mandate that we must seek to avoid. I believe there is a solution. It may appear a perverse one to many members. It will not please my Liberal Democrat colleagues, I know. But I think the answer is to actually find an electoral system which is so manifestly unfair, disproportionate, unrepresentative, idiosyncratic, that there could be no question whatsoever of there being any dispute over which is a preeminent chamber. And might I suggest that we go back again to Alexander and to James, the Federalist Papers, once again, and ask ourselves why it is that tiny Delaware has 2 senators in the US Senate, but mighty California also has 2 senators in the US Senate. Can I just fly a kite? We do it all the time in politics. We hope we don't get shot down. I may be about to, who knows? But can we return perhaps to the counties of England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland before the 1972 Local Government Act? And maybe we could have a Senate where we had elections for the historic county of Lancashire, reuniting Borough, bringing back Liverpool and Manchester into Lancashire. Maybe we could also recreate Rutland, have Surrey stretching into the Surrey docks as it once did. It will be full of illogicalities, but surely that is the point. Because to maintain the primacy of this chamber and to defend the principle of first past the post, which I will do to my dying day, I have now decided after that fiasco of that referendum, that we have to ensure that we have an electoral system that retains the confidence of the people and actually starts to tie the people more into their legislature. And I can think of few things that would do that than there being senators for the historic counties. Now, I may be an MP, but I try not to have too big an ego. I can cope somehow with having MEPs, county councillors, borough councillors, district councillors, parish councillors, Uncle Tom Cobleys and all, trampling over my local newspapers, talking about things that I have an interest in. I no doubt do the same to them. We can cope with having multiple elected representatives in the areas that we also represent. I think it is important that we support the Deputy Prime Minister as he re-enters the Chamber. These are bold proposals, they are important proposals, we must back them.